Hi there, welcome back. We've got another food video for you, a short one this time. We're going to make some mince tarts. Now normally it's mince pies, but the dish we've got to bake them in is quite shallow. We've used ingredients from a supermarket over here in the UK called Waitrose, but you could use any brand at all that you want. So it's just showing you the label there. It's got everything listed as the ingredients, the calorific value, the allergy, everything like that. So if you've got food intolerances and so on. A little bit of Frylight cooking spray, some beautiful soft white smooth fondant icing, because no, I'm not going to spend time making my own, I'm afraid. Two types of pastry. We've got a short crust pastry, and we also have puff pastry. Apologies for the wobbly filming in this whole of this video. I don't know why I didn't use my tripod, but I didn't use the little tripod that we've got. So what you can see I've done here, I've sprayed a bit of this spray oil in each of these lovely little tart tins, and then I've started to put down some strips of greaseproof paper. This is just because I've never used this tin before and I was worried about things sticking to it. We've also got these quick cookie cutters or scone cutters as well. Now what you can see here, this is Wayne, of course, because you know Wayne likes to cook. He had to get in on the act, so he said, don't worry, you hold the camera, I'll put those in for you. I'll do the little sheets of or little strips of baking paper. Now the idea is that these will stop or make it easier to lift these little mince tarts out of this lovely little pan. Now as I said, normally it's a pie tin. It should be a pie tin, so they should be a bit deeper, so you've got more filling. This would be more for things like if you're going to make jam tarts. I don't know if you've ever made those, but jam tarts and so on. We are using the two of the sizes of the fluted edge cutters there, and the bigger one is to make the base, and the smaller one was going to be to make the top, but as you will have seen from the thumbnail, we didn't go down that route. We did something completely different. So yes, we've bought ready rolled. So much more easy. I mean, obviously if you can afford it, buy ready rolled, buy the ready made. If you're happy to make your own pastry, then make your own pastry. Why not? Normally we would, but just for convenience and it's easier for us, you know, we decided to go with the ready rolled. Plus we've never bought Waitrose pastry before and wanted to see what it was like. How does it compare? Just Roll I think is probably one of the main brands, but like as I said, you know, store's own brand is usually good enough. So Wayne's just going along using that larger edge fluted edge cutter. You don't have to use the fluted edge, these are reversible. Obviously if you're going to turn it round and use the other edge, don't press too far down with your hand, or don't be too heavy-handed pressing down on it, because you don't want to hurt yourself. Right, so we've managed to get 3, 6, 9, 12. So we've managed to do 12, and all he's doing now is just picking them up and carefully placing them in to each of those lovely little tart spaces. There we are. And then down it goes. There's a bit more of a close-up. You can see there, carefully pushing them down. Bits of the video have been sped up because, you know, you don't need to see him spending 5 or 6 minutes putting those in there. But we did make sure they were pressed down firmly enough. So 2 teaspoons, 1 teaspoon of minced meat mixture goes into each of these little I want to say miniature tarts or pie crust sort of thing. So there goes a bit more of a close-up there. The sorts of things that are in sweet mincemeat, in case you didn't know, are currants, sultanas, sometimes some grated apple, and you know, you can buy it with alcohol included as well, sugar, and it's all left just to macerate, I think is the right word. That's nothing horrible, but it's left to basically like marinade. If you marinate meat, it's left to all marinate together, and then it creates that juicy lovely sauce that's with it. So here we go. Wayne is using this. This is a snowflake cutter. Now, it's usually used by people that like decorating cakes and it's great for using to cut out fondant pieces and so on. And we bought a set a while ago. Again, if you check out our craft, I think it was a craft haul that we did recently, a few weeks ago now, and we bought a set of these, and they are great for this kind of thing. So instead of going with a full pastry cover or lid to these, we have put beautiful snowflake shaped pieces on instead. We decided to go with that. So there you go. Can you see that? Now this is the puff pastry top. It also makes it a lot lighter, so you're not eating all pastry. Now we're not going to cover all of them. We're going to cook some without the lids, and there's a reason for that. You'll see that shortly. So here we go. We're going to obviously cracking an egg into a bowl, giving it a quick whisk up. If you don't want to use egg, if you're no good with eggs and things like that, then by all means just use some milk or some milk alternative maybe. Just give it a good whisk. And then we're just using, that's a silicone pastry brush, and just brushing it all over the tops of those ones, and also the ones that don't have any lids. So it just helps to give it golden brown colour to that pastry, helps it crisp up. Sprinkling on a tiny bit of, this is just regular granulated sugar, just over the top there, just on the ones that have got the snowflake tops. There we go, as you can see here on a little bit of a close-up. Great tip to do this also on the tops of scones if you ever make English style scones. There we are. And then they went into the oven, and here they are, all cooked. They are a little bit overdone maybe, and very rustic, very rustic. You can tell these are homemade, very rustic, not shop bought, you know, but gosh, do they taste good. Now what you can see here, I had some leftover pastry. And I got blueberries and raspberries, so I did an alternative filling, and I made them much bigger in muffin tins. And I have to say, I can't wait to eat one of those. Now, moving on, we are going to use the fondant. Now, I am trying to film one-handed and also work with it one-handed, but I rolled out the fondant in between a couple of pieces of baking paper or greaseproof paper, and then just did exactly the same as Wayne had done with the cutter, the snowflake cutter, but used it with the fondant icing, and there it is. So this, instead of being a solid piece of icing on top of a mince pie, it's going to be a snowflake, so it ties in with the other ones. Now, what I didn't have, and I couldn't believe I hadn't got it in the cupboard because we usually have some, is some icing sugar, or I think you call it powdered sugar if you're in America. So I went a bit mad, as you can see, with the snowflakes, but I thought, why not? What the heck? Why not? If you joined us today, thank you for watching the video. Give us a thumbs up. Have you ever made mince pies before? Have you made some alternative fillings? Apple and cinnamon sultana would be lovely. Blueberry, as I said, I've made. Maybe a rhubarb one or an apricots. Hope you've enjoyed this video. And you've enjoyed all the other videos that we've done so far for Christmas. We'll be back to our usual resin, epoxy resin and eco resin in the new year. And hope you're having a lovely time building up preparation for the festive period. Thanks for watching again, and we'll see you again very, very soon with another video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.